Good day, everyone. In this presentation, I'm going to walk you through Chapter 1 of a quantitative research paper. Chapter 1 is very important because it introduces your study, explains why it matters, and shows what you want to achieve. If you can write a strong Chapter 1, the rest of your paper will be much easier to follow. Part 1, Introduction or Background of the Study. The first part is the introduction or background of the study. This is where you set the stage. Start by discussing the general topic or issues, then gradually narrow it down to your specific research problem. Think of it like a funnel, from broad to specific. For example, if your topic is about student engagement in social studies, you can start with the importance of social studies in education. Then, discuss common problems in student engagement and finally focuses on the low participation of senior high school students. This helps readers understand why your study is necessary. Part 2, Statement of the Problem. The next part is a statement of the problem. This section is the heart of chapter 1 because it explains what exactly your study is trying to answer. It usually starts with a general problem, then breaks it down into specific sub questions. For instance, a general problem could be: what is the level of student engagement in social studies among senior high school students? The specific problems could ask about engagement in terms of behavioral, emotional, and cognitive aspects. Part 3, Research Hypothesis. Since this is quantitative research, you also need to include your research hypothesis. These are your prediction about the relationship between variables. You usually write both the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. For example, null hypothesis or HO, there is a significant relationship between teaching strategies and student engagement in social studies. Alternative hypothesis or HA, there is a significant relationship between teaching strategies and student engagement in social studies. Part 4, Theoretical or conceptual framework. The fourth part is the theoretical or conceptual framework. This shows the foundation of your study. You can base it on a theory that supports your topic, or you can create a conceptual model that shows how your variables are connected. For example, if you're studying engagement, you might use Frederick's theory of student engagement, which talks about behavioral, emotional, and cognitive engagement. To make it clearer, you can also present a diagram showing how your independent variable like teaching method affects the dependent variable, which is student engagement. Part 5, Significance of the study. The next section is the significance of the study. Here, you explain why your research matters and who will benefit from it. You should mention the different groups that can gain from your findings. For example, students may benefit because the study can help improve teaching strategies that make social studies more engaging. Teachers can gain insights into which methods encourage better participations. School administrators and policymakers can use the findings to improve the curriculum. And finally, future researchers can use your study as a reference. All right? So, part 6, Scope and Delimitations. After that, you need to write the scope and delimitations. This section explains the coverage of your study and its limitations. Scope refers to the participations, participants, location, and time frame. For example, you might say that study covers 100 senior high school students from grade 11 and grade 12 at XYZ school during the school year 2025 to 2026. Delimitations are the boundaries you set, like focusing only on social studies engagement and not on other subjects. All right, let's move on to the part 7. Definition of terms. The last part is the definition of terms. This section defines the important words, acronyms, or variables used in your study. It ensures that readers clearly understand how you are using these terms. For example, you can define student engagement as the behavioral, emotional, and cognitive involvement of learners in class activities. You may also define acronyms like senior high school for senior high school. ACHS. Always define them as they are applied in your research. Okay, so closing or summary encouragement. To summarize, chapter 1 of a quantitative research paper includes 7 main parts: the introduction or background of the study, the statement of the problem, the research hypothesis, the theoretical or conceptual framework, the significance of the study, the scope and delimitations, and finally, the definition of terms. By carefully writing each section, you create a strong foundation for your research. Remember, chapter 1 is not just about filling in sections, it's about clearly showing what your study is, why it's important, and how it will be carried out. Thank you for watching, and I hope this guide helps you write a clear and well structured chapter 1 for your quantitative research.